Monday, we off to the races. Brian Maxwell here. And what I want to talk about real quick, the topic of this video, as I'm sure you saw, is your paycheck is based on your value to your company. And the reason why I want us to talk about that, because I'm in the weekly meetings and I get an opportunity to see the production and hear the numbers. And I've also had the pleasure of being able to meet the people that are responsible for those numbers. So when I'm seeing certain numbers reflect certain things from a group of sales professionals that I know has the ability to be able to perform a lot better, it's very important for me to find out what's going on and what it is that I can do to help. I mean, that's what I'm paid to do. That's the sole reason why I'm here, is to help each and every one of you perform better and also help the company as a whole. And now that we've gotten done with the certifications up to this point, until other ones come up in the future, I think it's very important for you and I to reestablish a connection, because I know GSMs have been hitting me up. I talk to a lot of you sales reps on a regular basis, Saturdays, Sundays, doesn't matter. And I really do appreciate that. So I owe it to you to get back into the mix and see what we can do to really make the last 2 weeks of this month as big as we possibly can. And that's extremely important. Remember, your paycheck is based on your value to your company, nothing more, nothing less. And it doesn't matter what profession you're in, whether you're selling vehicles, you're selling real estate, you're selling cell phones, it does not matter. Your value, your paycheck is based on the value you bring to your company. So what does that mean? Is it just any amount of sales that you get? It could depend on how things are set up. Is it based on the amount of money that you generate? Because generating sales and making money for the company are two different things. And so I want to make sure that everybody's on the right page and understands what I mean by being of value to your company. Okay, because let's take it selling vehicles. You have some sales reps who may sell 20 vehicles, or should I say, move 20 units, and that still is beneficial to the company. But each and every one of those sales that they made lost $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000. So in actuality, what seemed like a victory in volume terms, it is, but as far as an actual money made for the individual and for the company, not so much. And I know the pay structure at Step One Automotive Group is very unique, so it is volume based. But as far as being a professional and really being accountable, don't you want to really see how good you can be? I mean, because I really believe that, being able to do this, period, you're special. At the same time, I believe that when we're allowing people to walk out with the type of deals that they want, rather than the type of deals that this particular product or this particular service actually should receive. When I'm seeing skilled and talented people create a false illusion that they're top tier sales consultants because the number of sales they're getting, and they're still receiving pay for it, regardless if the store loses money. These things create a sort of perception in our mind that we're more talented than we are. And then I've seen people even go to a store where they actually hold gross, where this person, if they gave it away, they just get minis left and right. And, living off minis, you can only survive so long depending on what your living situation is. So they go to another store, barely last 3 months, because they thought it was all about giving people the lowest price, doesn't really matter because I'm going to get paid regardless. And what I'd like us to do, let's really focus on things that we may be doing that is making our customer be more focused on price, than on the overall value. I'll give you an example of just something small that I hear salespeople say that really will take that person's attention to this particular thing right before going into negotiation, where they really want the person to be as clear-headed, as calm, as open-minded as possible. But yet the sales consultant, without any knowledge of doing this themselves, will take that customer's attention and center it on the one area that we do our best to I won't say avoid, but to really turn into another direction, which is value. And what that is, when a rep is bringing a customer and saying, all right, well, coming back off a demo drive, all right, well, all we got to do now is come in here and go over some numbers. Whoa. So now we've just taken a person that was on a demonstration drive who was liking the way it rolled, we asked, hey, who's the first person you're going to show your new vehicle to? Or what's the first vacation spot or the first trip that you and your family going to take in your new ride? Okay, so they're excited, they're visualizing, they're assuming ownership. You pull them back in, you want them to park, in the sold lane or at least into a parking spot as close as you possibly can to theirs. And then getting out and say, all right, now let's go in here and go over some numbers. Wow. We've done all of that work for nothing. And we wonder why when we go back in and sit down, this person again goes back to price. Okay? Or when a sales rep is greeting a customer, greeting them and have allowed the guest to lead them on conversation. And the person just wants to get in, they want to sit down, they just want to know what's the best price. All right, well, listen, let's go in there and let's see what the best price is. And again, we've allowed ourselves to go to the one area that we know price is going to be important. We know that. But when we center and take our customers' attention and focus it on price, when the only decision is based on price, you as a sales professional and the organization loses. And so when I ask, what value are you really bringing, and how your paycheck is determined by your value, what I mean is this: your production, if you're someone who is moving consistently between 7 to 10 vehicles a month, okay, that is what your value is. Now, you can attach that to a monetary number. You can attach that to a number. You can actually quantify that. So what you're worth to the organization, moving an average of 7 to 10 units a month. Now, you take somebody that's moving between 17 and 20 a month, and you quantify that. Now, it's really simple, and you'll see your paycheck is determined by your value, because the individual or the rep that's moving 7 to 10, that's how much they're worth to the organization, so their paycheck will reflect a percentage of that. And the person that is doing twice as well, or maybe even 3 times as well, their paycheck will drastically reflect that, because what their value is to the company. Now, what dictates and determines, many times the separation in the two numbers, it all boils down to knowledge and wisdom and experience at the end of the day. See, when I'm at the stores and we working on exercises and we doing things, there are some folks who I'm unsure how they view it. But one thing I've realized, I've been all around the country and worked and trained, people that are moving 35, 30 units a month. This is really happening for some people in different parts of the country. The one thing I realized is these folks, they read the most, they study the most, they welcome the most training, they have the best attitudes, they make the most money. Now, on the flip side of that, the folks that I've seen that avoid training, will be trained and just do their best to just not use the resources or the information that they were given intentionally. The ones that will say, you know what, they like their way, regardless if there's a way that is much more effective. Not saying that their way is wrong, but it's untested. Well, we got something over here that is proven to generate results, and yet they resist it for the sake of the ego. Again, these are things that will hold a person back and really cause them to be a minimalist, is what I call them. And they avoid training like the plague. But the ones who are the most positive, make the most money, perform the best, they are always asking, hey, can I get some training? Hey, you got any information for me? What do you got that I can read? And not only do they ask for these things, but they use them. Okay, this week I was having a conversation with Greg Webb and Nick Gara. And as you all know, Nick is responsible for the pre-owned side of the dealer group. And we're looking at things and we're wondering what's going on where we're giving away so much on these vehicles. All right, especially when we're talking about pre-owned. Because as we know, a lot of times a pre-owned customer is coming in. I'm not saying this is just the status quo, but many of them are credit challenged. Okay. And yet and still we find ourselves giving away. And what I've seen in any of the research and the data that I've looked at, whenever you see a serious drop in profit margins, it's a very, very, very simple fix. And it all boils down to confidence. And not necessarily confidence in yourself. You're probably a very confident person. But somewhere in your mind, you have lost confidence in your product, in your organization, or in the process itself. Because, profits really are measured by the ability to generate value. And perceived value is what determines what investment price, how much your guest is willing to invest in what you have on your lot. That's it. The perceived value have got to exceed or at least match and come with a lot of benefits for them the price of that vehicle, or else they're unwilling to pay it. And then if there is no value in a particular vehicle, none, as you'll see, but it's the only thing they can afford. They just gonna nickel and dime you to death. Why? Because they see no value. Therefore, they realize that you're thirsty just to get a sale, and they're gonna break you down. And I'm sure you've all seen this before, but you ever noticed that the people that you find out that you went through a process, they were pleasant, they gave you the information, you got the vehicle, they signed their first pencil. And you find out the store made $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 on the deal. And in most cases, we never hear from this person ever again, or we're never in contact with this person ever again. Now, on the flip side of that, we've got the customer that has been nickel and diming us down. We did a half-assed walk around. We didn't really want to go on a test drive, so we told them it's okay. We don't need to do it. We didn't spend very much time talking about them at all. We got them. We walked around the parking lot first, looking at vehicles. Came on in. We got straight talking about the car. We found out we was on the wrong car. We had to go get another one. We got that going, and they go back and forth with you, nickel and dime. You beat you down on the price. They can sniff that you just want to get a sale. Just want to get a sale. We really don't care. You just want to get a sale. So they're gonna play it to the hill. So your management is trying to make miracles happen. I've seen it. I've been at stores and seen this. The manager's doing everything they can to make miracles happen. Why? To help you out, to really help you move a unit, knowing that it's one that they may want to say, hey, man, listen, either get them on something else or let's just, let's see if they can save up a little bit, what we can do to help them in the future, something of the sort. But they want to move that unit. So you give this person everything they want. They drive off, boom, they call back the next day complaining. Boom, they back in service because they feel like this, that, and the other should be fixed. They go on Google, they write a negative review. They go on Facebook and write a scathing review about how long it took, even though they were the ones who kept being indecisive. Now, what causes this phenomenon is because the individual that signed their first pencil, they saw the value, and the perceived value exceeded the price. They knew they could have went someplace else and got it cheaper. They could have went someplace else and got it cheaper. But they chose to do it there because you gave them the feeling of the perceived value of that vehicle, which includes the service from the sales professional, to be worth at least, if not more, than what was asked of it. And the individual who made us drop price and give away everything never saw the perceived value. Matter of fact, they believed that the asking price was unjustified. Therefore, the only way that they would do it is if the price made sense. And the only time that happens, is when we decide to cut corners or we stop honing our skills. I don't care who it is and what profession an individual is. The only way to get better is to practice, to really hone our skills. And if you're waiting until you get into the dealership to begin to practice, that is going to affect your output. It's going to affect the amount of money that you get. So let's go over some things that we could do where we really can not just focus on volume, but we also focus on value. And I really challenge you as a professional, especially with some of the things that I know is going to be rolling out, some ways for you all to actually maybe be able to make even more money by being able to build value and not allowing people to discount themselves and strip the vehicle down of actual things that bring real value. When we as sales professionals disbelieve or don't believe in our product enough to where even we believe that what it brings to an individual, we should be asking $10,000 more for it. You have to go through and really look at different parts of the vehicles that you offer to customers. Really look at them and find that 1, 2, 3, 4, however many things it is that you can actually see and say, you know what, just having this alone is priceless. And regardless if every vehicle has it, on this particular model, you believe that having this vehicle, and in your mind, even if it's just because it has this one thing, that the asking price is too low, you're going to always have a difficult time being able to build value. And I really believe that every product or service that is offered at a dealership, every single one has at least one aspect of it, one that we would say, having that alone, because it'll save lives, or because it'll save them time, or it will allow them more comfort, better luxury, more confidence. Any of these things, if I can realize that this particular product, this vehicle, will be able to add so much value that we should be asking for more money. When I can find that one thing or more that makes that vehicle seem like that to me, it'll always be difficult to be able to build value. And even if while you're learning to have that thing in the product or service that you offer, while you're searching for that, and I challenge you to do that, do it one vehicle at a time. You should at least be able to have that type of feeling about yourself where you say, okay, as I'm learning these products, as I'm beginning to develop myself and my way I see the value in these particular things, I have to believe in the value in myself, and that what I want to do is help. So even though I may not know the answers to these particular questions, I'm going to do everything I can to give these people the best experience, to ask them the best questions, to find out who they are, what their objectives are, what they hope this vehicle will bring to them, and let's put some options together. Because I know that my intention is to help them. If I let them go to any other dealership or anybody else, I really have no idea what they're going to do to the person. There's a 50-50 chance they'll get ripped off. They'll have a one-day vehicle, walk out of there with a super low price, just to find out that really in the long term that they lost. And I believe in that so much that I am unwilling to allow this person to leave without me doing and exercising every single option I have. And if that's asking for that order 15 times, 16 times, knowing that my only intention is to help them, then so be it. And if you got to have that type of passion in this and be fearless, because all fear stands for is false evidence appearing real. And even if at your store you're moving 12, 15 units, and you say, man, I'm doing 12, 15 every month, I'm making more money than I ever made before. I get it. But at the same time, really, the one thing that destroys ambition and forward progress, a lot of people think is fear, and it's not. The number one thing that holds people back from progress, the number one thing that does that is comfort. Hey, listen, man, at least I'm doing 12, I'm doing 13, I'm doing 15, I'm doing 16, I'm cool. This is all right, I'm comfortable. Comfort stops progress. So we have to find different ways to motivate ourselves. And yeah, if you are moving 15, great. But what about those 7 that you are unable to even get to complete a credit out? That just if we would just have, maybe there's 1 or 2 little adjustments we can make. So we're now instead of at 15, we at 22. I mean, the ones who fail to qualify due to credit, you're unable to be able to do anything about that. But you and I both know, I'm talking about the ones that were unwilling to even allow you to submit an application on. I'm talking about the ones to where they did submit an application. They qualified. The numbers were where it is that they said they wanted to be, and yet we allowed them to walk out. You see, as sales professionals, we have to take personal accountability. Where a lot of times people believe it's solely on the dealership to provide training for them. And I do believe that every store, one of the things that I've realized in companies that now is growing in popularity because my phone stays ringing. But I've been with Step One, I've been rocking with you all, and I've been just amazed by the level of professionalism by the management team, and then by the quality of the people that I see at the stores. But what a lot of other dealerships are failing to do, which is why Step One is separating themselves in a positive way, is they do one type of sales training when they initially hire the person, and they never do anything again. And they really believe that one day or that first week of sales training is going to last that team. No, it's just no way possible. It's the ones that really understand the reality that it's just repetition, beat it in, repetition, beat it in. There's always new people coming. And sometimes things get out of a little whack and we don't even know. Like, I solely believe that where the numbers are this month has nothing to do with ability, nothing to do with people not knowing the process. I think it has everything to do with it being the summertime and us just allowing our minds to drift a little bit. We got to refocus and realize something. Every single day that you come into that store, you really do have an opportunity to improve your life and somebody else's. And if you have to believe that whether they get a new vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle, it does not matter. Your intention is to make that person's life better. And the only way we could do that is by finding out who they are. That piece of plastic, that piece of metal does not speak, doesn't have a credit rating, doesn't have a bank account. It makes no decisions. There's a human that controls all of that. So yeah, having product knowledge is good. It is necessary. But if you fail to have people knowledge, you have all the product knowledge in the world, and it's minimal. It's like I said, at every store, they got a guy or lady that knows everything about a particular vehicle from the front end to the rear end that sells about 5 to 7 vehicles every month. Been there for 4 years. They'll tell you everything about it, but are unable to help people buy. Why? Because while they're talking about torque and turn ratio, the people are sitting there saying, good grief, what the hell is this guy talking about? Hey, let's get out of here because I don't understand anything he's saying. He's boring. Okay? Then you got the individual who, has some knowledge, has some basic common knowledge about the features, the benefit, and information about the vehicle, but they have a personality that lights up a room. This individual is outproducing the people with the most technical knowledge. Why? Because they make the people feel special. They make the people feel important. And they use a process. Everything has a process. Everything. Why is McDonald's so successful? Because whether you're in Russia, you're in Italy, you in UK, or you're in America, a Big Mac is 2 all beef patties, special sauce on a sesame seed bun. It does not matter where you are. That's what it is. And so that's what makes it successful. And as you're dealing with these people, when you're going through and you're greeting a guest, as I've always stated, the only 3 things that should change, regardless of who you deal with, is the triple P's. That's the person, the product, and the price. Everything else that you do, from greeting them to bringing them in, to really sitting down. And remember, it's not an interrogation talking about a piece of plastic or metal. It's more, it has to be a conversation. It's a learning period for you, and it's a learning period for them. You both get a chance to establish and really get an understanding of what the objectives of each other are. And the better you both understand the objectives that you each are trying to accomplish, the more successful each transaction will be. Now, here's what I mean by that, is that your responsibility is to show this customer, this guest, that, hey, listen, my intentions are to help you make a smart, safe buying decision. That's what it is. And then your objective of what to learn from them is whether, listen, I'm looking for something to get my family to and from our location safely, or I'm looking for something to help me continue to build my business, blah, blah, blah. there has got to be an exchange, an understanding of what the goals and objectives of each one is. And the more transparent we are with that, there's nothing wrong with letting the person know, hey, listen, my only goal, my objective is to give you the best possible experience and help you find whatever vehicle will help you achieve whatever goals you all are trying to get done. What's wrong with saying that? As a matter of fact, more people should say that. We expect that the guest just knows it because we're there and we're smiling. No, even a dog shows his teeth when it's about to bite you. So just remember that our objective really should be to focus on value with our people, okay? And as far as like the new hires that are coming in or the people that you see rotate out, there are people that you're going to see that every store they go to, they only last a little while. Why? Because the level of value that they bring is minimal. Therefore, the amount of money that they make is minimal. The amount of respect that they get is minimal. So they'll hop place to place and start off really well, but just like every other place, fizzle out after a month or two, allow the negativity to consume them, they poison another store, and then they leap on to someplace else. Be very cautious of the circle you keep, because if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future, all right? And sometimes the people in our dealership can be far more poisonous to us mentally if we allow them than anything on the outside. So if somebody on your team doesn't have something positive to say, isn't giving you some words of encouragement, isn't sharing some type of process method that will help you to succeed, unless that's happening, then I would avoid them like the plague. Because at the end of the day, why are they showing up every day if they dislike it, if it's so bad, but they haven't left? That means they may be just trying to run you off. And at the end of the day, hopefully you have enough friends and associates before you start it. Now, if you make some while you're there, hey, that's a bonus. But really, at the end of the day, you're there to run a business, and it can be done. So make sure during our process, we're greeting the customers. We're bringing them inside, sitting them down. We're asking them, we're going through a needs and analysis, really asking them about their personal needs and the goals and objectives, and then their automotive, their transportation needs, goals, and objectives. And I assure you that the more confident you are talking with them, and the more intentional you are about showing them that I'm genuinely here to help you, the more comfortable they'll be with being honest with you and being more receptive when you educate them on where the best option may be for them. So after we go through the needs analysis, then it's the vehicle selection. After the vehicle selection, we're gonna go get it pulled up. I never understand why people take their customer to go walk to a vehicle to show it to them that they haven't even been to yet. That amazes me when I see that. And let's really think about that for a second. You have no idea if the vehicle looks dusty. You really don't know where it is. So you're going out, you're grabbing keys, grabbing the people, walking through the parking lot in the hot sun, using the panic button. Walking around, you get to it, bird droppings on it, look dusty. The last person that got in it, that did a demo drive in it, the floor mats got sand all on them. But you didn't know any of that. And now this is the first time we're showing this vehicle to this person. And we act like they don't see it. Come on, man. We got to make things easier for ourselves. So we present the vehicle. Then we do our drive on our preset route. We bring them back. We bring them inside. And even though people say negotiate, I more so like to say educate. Because at the end of the day, my responsibility is to educate you on why this vehicle is actually worth more and how you're getting it for a steal, rather than negotiate as to why I should justify taking less money for a product that brings you greater value than what we're asking for. So I like to say educate rather than negotiate. But for the sake of process and paperwork, educate. But remember, negotiate / educate. All right. After that, we go into the pre-delivery. Okay, we set things up. We're doing what we got to do. Chrysler stores know what they got to do. All the other brands know what they got to do. Getting them preset to go in there with the business manager, going to business manager. While they get that done, doing our detailed inspection, pre-inspection, get the customer out, go over the inspection with them. We deliver the vehicle, set the phones up, set the stations up. Use their whatever the commercial free radio that you may offer for a limited time, or if not, and it's just standard radio, help them set it to their favorite stations, show them the owner's manual, and guess what? Boom, reach out to them within the next 48 hours. The game is simple. Selling is really easy when it's done the right way. But at the end of the day, we have to really, 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 really want it. And so I encourage you, hey, congratulations to you for making it to the end of this. The fact that you did it should tell you that you're serious about this. Okay? Because it should be fun, but it's not a game. These are people's livelihoods and yours and your family. And you can write your own ticket. Take your pen out. Write yourself a personal check to yourself as to how much you're going to generate within the next 60 days. And when you come into that dealership, you put sticky notes or you put reminders someplace where you see that target and you break it down. How many people do you have to help in order to do that? And you attack it as if your life depended on it. And guess what? It does. It does. All right. So anything I can do, I'm going to be around at the stores, as y'all know, already started this week. So I'll be there. And listen, when I'm there, fellas, I know, and ladies, I know that it's important to keep getting deals. And you want to get in front of people. But if you get in front of the right customer and do the wrong thing, it's all for naught. Actually, it's a loss for step one. And, one of the commitments I have to Fernando, Greg Webb, and any of the other management DSMs and people is that, I'm here to help the company make money, never to be a liability. It's all about building value and being an asset. All right. So we really got to key in on, moving the units. Yes. But let's build value. I mean, let's really find something in it that we believe that one thing or that two things or three things, whatever it is, makes the asking price really too low. And watch what happens when you go to assist people from that place. We're going to be working on that this week. But I really need you to really take it upon yourself to check out the book that I have attached, listen to this audio program, and really give yourself a fighting chance. Let's pull June up out of the mud. Let's go as hard as we can. Go to your managers. Ask them, hey, what do you think I need to work on? What do I need to get better? And managers, ask your team members, what can you do to get better? A lot of times managers are telling reps, go say this, go say that, go say this, go say that. And you know what it translates to? The rep go over there and say, hey, we're going to have to get you a cheaper car. Because you expect they're going to digest the crap that was said? No. We got to begin to treat our sales team members just like we want them to treat our customers coming in the store. And guess what that is? Greeting. How often do you greet your sales team? How often do you greet them? Two, how often do you ever invite them inside? How often do you ever just get one and just talk to them in private? Even if it's just a minute or two, doing the needs analysis. How well do you know your team members? Not just their numbers, but really what's going on in their lives. Four, how often do you ever present them with a solution to help them, with an option to help them perform better? Then, boom, why don't you demo the presentation, the demo on me, demonstrate them? One thing that really gives a lot of managers far more credibility is when they can actually do what they're telling their sales team to do. See, the one thing that helps me when I'm at a store, it happened in the Chrysler stores that I've been in recently. I have taken ups in front of the team. And everything I've trained on have used it, and they've watched it and said, man, it worked. So guess what? My credibility is there. If more managers were willing to say, you know what, today I'm going to take it up and I'm going to go through with them. If they were willing to do that and go through it, regardless of what happens at the end, but if you sound good, you're using the methods, you're taking this person through the process, what happens whether they get qualified or not is out of our control. But they got to see you using it and watch it flow. Watch the credibility grow. That's important. That's important. So, so we demoing them. And then we getting them, giving them a service tour. And I apologize, I missed that. Let's really just giving them a mental tour of what could possibly be if they really just lock and load. Give them a tour, but it's a mental tour as opposed to a service tour. And then after that, guess what? You're getting them ready for finance. But all that is you actually teaching them about what type of potential money they can make. Now, after you've explained to them the potential money that they can make, lock them down on a goal. close them on a number. What is their objective? Seeing that's the potential. What is it that you want to achieve? Bam. Now, let's go ahead and let's deliver. It's the same exact thing. So managers, make sure that we remember that we got to use our sales process on our team members too. Because, the better we treat them, the better they treat our guests. And I know in this dealer group, GSMs are awesome and you all treat your teams well. But I believe we all would agree that there is no such thing as treating a person too good or helping somebody too much, if it's improving their quality of life. So I know this might have ran on a little bit, but, just to really talk about it. So let's ask ourselves, what value are we really bringing to the company? What value are you bringing? What value are you bringing to your family? What value are you bringing to yourself? All right. Thank you all. And again, I look forward to seeing you all this week at the dealership. Brian Maxwell signing out.